The success story of French automaker Renault began 60 years ago with the 4CV car. Whether on a rally track, in a circuit race, or simply out on the street, Renault guarantees a fun ride. It's always been a Renault tradition to design its road models as closely to that of the racing versions. Now, 60 years later, Renault is introducing 3 new sports models. Renault's Nikolai Wortmann reflects on a 60-year legacy of performance cars at Renault. The company, he says, has always taken part in motorsports as a way of boosting the brand's status. 60 years of experience, he says, have enabled Renault to provide this kind of car right up to the present. The Renault 5 first appeared in 1972 and over time had monikers such as Alpine and the Turbo. It was a hit among amateur car racers. Not to be outdone, Renault's new Twingo Sport has 100 horsepower more than its ancestor, and it's the entry model in Renault's new sports lineup. But other than its increased engine power and a few visual modifications, this car has remained much the same and is still suitable for everyday use. The smallest Renault Sport sprints from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in just 8.7 seconds, and the makers claim a fuel consumption of only 7 liters for 100 clicks. The standard Twingo will cost you €10,000 and another $5,000 if you want the sports version. Renault's sports car portfolio virtually extends over the entire model range, says the Renault man, and that extends from the little Twingo Sport with its 133 horsepower to the 200 horsepower Clio Sport. And behind him is the racing version of Renault's Megane Sport, which is due in the fall.
Megane Sport mit rund 250 PS, dessen Rennableger Sie hier im Hintergrund sehen.
Renault has its very own racing series, the Megane Trophy. The 250 horsepower Megane Sport will be accompanied by a 173 horsepower diesel version that can still do 0 to 100 in a respectable 8.3 seconds. According to professional driver Markus Österreich, most of the sports car model's advantages come from the experience gained in race car driving, especially with regard to the suspension and the engine. These include traction control, ABS, and run-flat tires. Taking a cue from Formula One, the French car manufacturer has mounted a diffuser on the Clio Sport's rear. The negative pressure created helps the rear wheels hug the road, and you'll be impressed when you look under the hood, too. 201 horsepower pushed by a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that will jettison this car to 100 in 6.9 seconds. You won't miss the Clio Sport in passing. The Sport logo can be seen on the rear and sides. And the interior's sporty design will give you that racetrack feeling, even out on the streets. Renault is still considering whether they will expand the sports car model range to smaller or larger versions, says Nikolai Wortmann. This experimental vehicle started as a red 68 horsepower Twingo that was refitted with a 230 horsepower 2-liter turbo engine from the Megane Sport. Although this one will remain one of a kind, it still shows the possibilities available for modifying a Renault sports car. Could this be the new trend for the Twingo? First, Renault has got to find a way of adapting the large Megane engine to the tiny Twingo. Only a professional race car driver could handle this car in present form.